Oh, we are so back, baby. It's been so long. I am so excited to catch up with you guys today. I feel like just doing a classic sit down, let's catch up. There's so much to share. I first off want to just thank you guys for your patience these last few weeks. I think I ended up being gone from YouTube for a little over a month and a half. I just want to say thank you guys so incredibly much for even just the comments on my last vlog sharing I needed to take a little bit of time off for me just to kind of recoup were so sweet and supportive. I'm feeling so refreshed just being able to really take a little bit of time away to just not be like filming my life for so long when you've been doing that for like decades of your life. It is crazy. I have actually never done that. I'm so excited to be back and catch up with you guys today. Obviously, as you can probably tell by the title, and probably like most of you guys already know by now, but we have some exciting life updates to share. I am engaged, which is kind of funny that it happened like right after, it was maybe like 2 weeks after I started my break. And of course, I just wanted to like share that with you guys. So of course I did on Instagram, on TikTok, because I have not been completely absent. I've been actually posting a ton of short form content, but I know a lot of people are like more just strictly YouTube and don't really watch that or just aren't really on those platforms. I think tomorrow or the next day it'll be like officially a month. I want to just catch up with you guys. So I was thinking of just doing like, obviously we're sitting, I have a coffee. I do have a few vlog clips that I've recorded over the past few weeks, just like really short stuff. And then I'm thinking I might film a little bit more like this week, just kind of like get back into the swing of things. And I'm gonna do a story time of the engagement because I promised you guys I would, and so many people like have been wanting that on here, and I would always do it anyway. Like I just feel like that would always be something, of course, that I would like share and update you guys on. Definitely grab a little drink, grab a snack, a glass of wine, I don't know, like grab a meal, because honestly it is definitely going to be a long one, you guys. I mean, what of my vlogs are not long? I also kind of did want to share, I probably should share just at the beginning of this video, just in terms of like more of the schedule on YouTube and how things are kind of growing and changing. And that was kind of like one of the main things I wanted to think about and figure out on my break was what was actually realistic for me while not being burnt out. Because I just have honestly taken on a lot more over the past few months at my part-time job. I am working a lot more, and I was kind of trying to make it work for so long of like doing the same amount of posts as I was doing when I literally did not have any other job. I've been doing that for so long, and it hasn't exactly been, some weeks are easier than others. Like definitely some weeks it's easier to balance, but some weeks I was just getting like super burnt out, mostly on just like the time I was spending editing because most of my vlogs are so long. So I've been kind of thinking about that a little more, and I don't have any like final, you know, this is like, because you guys know I have not had like a schedule, like a day that I post for years now on YouTube. That's really not my style anymore because I don't like disappointing people if something happens, if I have to take like a Friday off and post on a Saturday. It's like I don't want to have that be like a disappointment thing. So I've always just pretty much uploaded once a week for the past several years. I'm not going to sit here and try to defend for the people that don't think this is a real time consuming job that it is. I feel as though me and plenty of other creators have done that over the years, and you either just believe it's a job or you don't see it as a job. But I think just the time spent on how long my vlogs were is something that I've been thinking about. Honestly, I love a long vlog. Like I love sitting down to like a nice 45-minute vlog and not having to like switch the video and figure out what I'm going to watch next. Like I love it. So I am absolutely going to still have a lot of long vlogs. One thing for me is like, I never really know how long my vlogs are going to be until I sit down with that footage of like 3 to maybe like 5 days and I start editing. And sometimes it ends up being like an hour, and sometimes it ends up being like 30 minutes, and I don't really actually know until I sit down. I don't know how you guys feel, but I feel like I've just gotten so used to having longer vlogs and filming over so many days and having all that footage to edit that the reason I don't make my vlogs like 20 minutes, I know a lot of people have their vlogs like 20, 25, 30 minutes. But for some reason with my footage, it feels like it's not enough. It feels like I didn't do anything if the vlog isn't filmed over multiple days where I'm doing different things and like putting a lot of different stuff in the video. So I think that's something with myself that I kind of need to work through, is like not feeling like the vlog sucks, not feeling like the vlog is just like a flop if it is only filmed over like 1 or 2 days. So let me know how you guys feel about that, because I think that's something that I really still need to like work through. Honestly, I'm rambling right now, but what I did want to say was I still do not have this like set schedule that I'm gonna say like how many videos you can expect in the month. But over my break, I really thought about it more, and I have to cut back a little bit from how much I have been posting. So at this time, I mean, maybe that will change, like, which is why I'm not saying any like, this is what it is. I'm just saying for now, for like the near future, I am going to be posting a little bit less. I'm absolutely still going to be here. I'm still going to be vlogging. I also want to bring back more of my focus on my sit down videos, like one longer vlog in the month that it's a little more curated. It's a little bit more of the highlights of the month rather than like just filming on like 2 or 3 or 4 days every single week, because a lot of the vlogs are just, it's gotten so repetitive for me. I know it's gotten repetitive for some of you guys, and I know a lot of people like the repetitiveness too. I know a lot of people like just routine, normal life. I mean, those are really the vlogs that I enjoy watching. I don't love watching a ton of like travel and going out and doing all these crazy things. I kind of love like just like a cooking at home routine vlog. But I guess what I'm trying to say is like focusing a little bit more on the highlights, making the vlogs a little bit more intentional. I think that's something that I would like to do, but I need more time to do that. I can't do that every single week with my other job. I just can't. So I'm thinking of like 1, maybe 2, because y'all know me, I say like 1 vlog and then I'm gonna have like 4 hours of footage. So maybe it will be 2 vlogs, maybe it will be 3 vlogs. Like I'm just gonna kind of try and film a little more of those highlights, a little bit more of just even like, you know, like the week that you get your period and you're just like, I am not motivated. Like I can't do anything. I had one of those weeks a couple weeks ago, and I mean, it just lasted so many days. I just had no motivation. I was exhausted. Like those are the days that it's like, I don't need to be on camera. I don't need to be like trying to like put it on for the camera. Like I can just be like, I can take that time to realize like I'm not at my best, and I only want to like record and be here when I'm like excited about it. Like today I was so excited to just sit down with you guys, catch up. Like I'm literally still just excited to like talk to you throughout this video, and I want to feel that way, right? So it's like, I just want to be at my best. I want to give you guys me when I'm in a good place and not when I'm like exhausted, but I'm like, I have to get a video up. I know that might sound like sad, and I went back and forth with it so much because I am such like a people pleaser. At the end of the day, like I would like to think that I'm not, and I just do me, but I know I'm a people pleaser. I just want to like do what you guys want, and cutting back for the first time in several years, or like literally ever, basically just inherently it feels wrong. But I have to remind myself, for a long time, this was my only job. And for almost 3 years now, it hasn't been. And I've talked about this a lot, so I'll keep it short, but like my first year of Tidy Style, I wasn't working very much. I wasn't promoted to co-lead, which now like you have a co-lead on every single job. So I just work a lot more. I've taken on doing our Amazon brand store. I actually ended up recently taking on more of that. There was another girl that was helping with it, and now I do everything. I do like all of the product listings. I physically pack up and mail like all of our products in boxes to Amazon, keeping track of the inventory, the shipping, the marketing of the products, the photos and videos of the listings, selling things, customers returning things, like all of that. So I've taken on a little bit more with that, because with that, it does allow me to work from home and still do things for Tidy Style. And it actually allows me to kind of like work this like analytics part of my brain, like this part that's like the sales and like numbers. I actually really like working with numbers. Now I'm just rambling. But anyway, I've just taken on some other like passions, and it's been overall like very nice for me. And then I just love my sit down videos. I did start my series back in the spring, which kind of took a little bit of a pause when we moved, but it was like my sit down podcast video series. And overall, I got really great feedback from you guys. I loved filming those videos, so I want to start doing those again. I think pretty much monthly as well, because I just love sitting down like I am today and talking about a topic. So if you have any things you'd like me to talk about, literally could be any topic, something you're going through, something you feel like in our 20s, 30s as women, we all go through, just anything that you think other people could benefit from. I would love to hear any video ideas for that series down below. It's definitely something I'm going to be thinking of a lot more and bringing back. Feel free to also comment down below anything you just really enjoy seeing in the vlogs. It could be anything. Whatever you enjoy seeing the most in the vlogs, I would love to know, because I will definitely do my best to put that stuff in more of them. Now that we got all of that out of the way, I of course wanted to share my whole engagement story time. So I have actually already shared this entire story on Patreon, because Patreon is always where I go for more like personal life updates. Everything will always be shared to Patreon first. My Patreon is a very like small, tight-knit community. So if you ever want, those life updates, things before they come to YouTube, it will always be on Patreon. It is always linked at the top of the description box down below. I think I put that up like around 2 weeks ago on Patreon, but I'm just of course gonna share like probably like 90% of the story as well on here. It honestly ended up being quite a long video, so I'm like just gonna concise down, like, let's say the video is this chunk, just like a little bit smaller, not leave out any important details. But yes, I did want to just start by saying, like, thank you guys so much for all of your super sweet and supportive comments on like my Instagram post. I of course shared already, and if you happen to not like have an Instagram or follow over there, I will include some photos while I'm chatting throughout the story. Probably not more until the end maybe, but we did get a bunch of photos taken. Let's travel back in time. This was the last weekend of July. We had no plans, not a single plan for the weekend, which is like kind of rare. Like usually at least something, like we're gonna go out to dinner, we're gonna like go on a bike ride, we're gonna go like see his family, see somebody. Nothing was planned for the entire weekend, which I actually do kind of love because it is so rare. So we were just gonna hang out here. And then I wake up like Friday morning and we have like a work group chat. So my boss had actually texted the work group chat, because sometimes we work like a couple hours away. Like we'll travel a little bit for jobs if the client like really wants us to. Basically, there's this area called McCall, Idaho. It's about 2 hours north of Boise. It's like a beautiful little lakeside town. It's really big in the summer for people to just go there and everything. So some of our clients have houses there. And so a few of the Tidy Style girls that week were actually working in McCall. I think it was for like 1 or 2 days. I don't actually know because I wasn't on the job, but they were working in McCall and they were actually staying at a hotel there because, like I said, it is about 2 hours away and they were going to be working for like a couple days. So stay overnight at the hotel, like work like 1 or 2 days, like in between, something like that. I don't know the exact schedule. So my boss ends up texting the work group chat and she was like, hey guys, the girls actually finished early in McCall and we have this hotel room that is open for tonight that they're not going to be using since they finished early. It's already paid for. Like if anyone I would hate for it to go to waste. If anyone wants to come up here and stay, like let me know. You can use it. And so I was just feeling a little random when I saw that text. Like a lot of people had already replied. I didn't see it for like 30 minutes and basically everybody else that had replied was like, oh, I wish I could. I'm like doing this weekend. I'm doing this. Like it was just a little last minute notice, obviously. And I was like, well, we literally have no plans for this weekend. So I'm going to ask Jared if he wants to try and go. I thought he would probably say no just because he was heading out to work and I was like, like I don't know what time we'd have to leave, probably like sooner than later. Like it would be a little last minute for work and everything. So I asked him and he like kind of paused for a few seconds, like 5 or 10 seconds. And he was like, should we try and go? So then I'm like, oh my gosh, I like didn't think you were going to say yes, but I would love to try and go. Like, Only thing we need to figure out is just like getting someone to watch Cholula for the night and like a few hours tomorrow. So luckily Jared has a bunch of siblings and they've pretty much like all watched the dogs now, watched Cholula. So we texted, well, Jared texted like 3 of his siblings to kind of just like put a feeler out there, like, is anyone available? And I did feel bad because it was obviously like very last minute, but I was like, well, we'll just see. Like, obviously I was like, we're not gonna be able to go unless we get someone to watch Cholula because the hotel wasn't dog friendly, and you know, it's just kind of easier. This was at like 10 a.m. or something, and we did not end up hearing back until like 4 o'clock from any of his siblings, which I'm not being like, they were all busy. We were kind of like, okay, like it was too last minute notice, which was like totally understandable. Like Jared and I were just kind of like, well, like obviously like if we can go, we're gonna go, but like we're not gonna be upset if we can't go. Around like 4 o'clock, his sisters got back to us and they were like, one of them basically could like watch the dogs that night and like stay over. And the other one was like, I can come over like when, cause his other sister was gonna be going to work at like 8 or 9 a.m. And his other sister was like, I could come over for a couple hours like after she goes to work to like check on him. So we were like, okay, that honestly would be amazing. So this was, yeah, at like 4:30 or something. And so I just kind of like worked throughout the day. I was just like doing some editing and stuff like that. And then I was like, well, I guess we're going. So Jared like had just come home from work and we just kind of like quickly packed up like a duffel bag each. And we were in the car by like 5:30 probably. So we're in the car, we're driving there, and I just like look over at Jared and I'm like, this is so spontaneous of us. Like usually we're so planned. And I was just feeling good. I was feeling spontaneous. Like normally me, you guys probably know this about me, I am a big planner. I am, you know, writing down everything in the planner, just whatever. Like even just going somewhere, I'm thinking ahead. I'm like, where are we gonna have dinner? I'm like bookmarking restaurants and things to do on my phone. I was trying like on the drive there, I was like, I'm not gonna even like think about where we're gonna get dinner or like make a reservation. I was like, Lindsey, just live in the moment, because I don't do that often enough. And I always have like such a great time when I allow myself to just be in the moment and not be so planned out. We get to the hotel at, you know, like 7:30. Luckily the sun didn't set till like 9:30. This was back in July. So it was great. We had like honestly until like 10 p.m. when it really got dark. So we still had like several hours. So we changed super quick. I like did my makeup in the car and I was already like ready. So we just changed and then we went to this place called the Shore Lodge, which this is like, I'll insert some photos. This is like my favorite place to go in McCall for drinks, espresso martini. If you happen to ever come to McCall, Idaho, go to the Shore Lodge. If there's anything about me, I love a view. So I was just really enjoying that. We had a drink and then we were kind of like talking about dinner a little bit. And at this point, okay, so let's, you know, do a little bit of a backstory. I did know that I was going to be getting engaged soon. This was just something for me. I know some people might not be able to relate to this, but I wanted to have my nails not like a crazy color, because y'all know me, I do like crazy stuff on my nails. You know, just bright colors and things like that, which is fine. But like, I didn't want to, you know, have like highlighter yellow or like bright green nails in the summer when I got engaged. So one thing that was important to me that I expressed to like Jared and my sister was just that I would love to have like a warning of a few appointments, like getting my nails done neutral, because that's what I wanted. I wanted to have neutral nails when I got engaged. That was just me. I know some people wouldn't care about that. I personally do care, because I just wanted like those photos to like look back on and again, not have like neon green nails or something, because I'm the type to do something really simple and then I do something really crazy with like art, and you just, you know, after like a year, stuff is like not trendy anymore and whatever it is. So I know some people are gonna be like, that's stupid, like just let yourself be totally surprised and in the moment. But that's why I was like, I want to have like a few appointments, like 3 or 4, whatever it is. I didn't ask for a set amount. I just told my sister and I told Jared they could be like in cahoots or whatever. My sister was going to tell me when to start getting neutral nails, and then I would do it for however long. Like it could have ended up being 1 appointment. It could be like 5 appointments. this was my third time I had gotten them done neutrally. And I was like, oh, I'm kind of running out of ideas. Like, how many times can you do like a French or like a white chrome? Like I was honestly running out of ideas. So thank God it was the third time the charm. Heading into the weekend, my vibe was kind of like, I did have a thought of if this was basically my thought. If Jared has the ring, I hope maybe he brought it. Because I was just like, again, I was like, this is spontaneous. Like, it's a beautiful place we're going to. So that was like my only thought. You know, because obviously the trip was like a surprise to both of us. So I was like, maybe, you know, he probably has something else planned, or maybe like later or whatever it is. And I'll actually get into that at the end, because he ended up telling me, like, obviously because we weren't supposed to go to McCall and we found out that day, and he did end up doing it in McCall. But he ended up telling me after, like, when he was gonna actually do it. So I'll tell that after, I suppose. So we're having our drinks at the Shore Lodge. We're just kind of vibing. I could tell Jared was kind of trying to, like, he was kind of trying to get us to, like, maybe walk around. I was not opposed to walking around at all. But at this point that we were, like, kind of finishing our drinks, it was already, like, 8:30. And I was like, okay, like, I'm totally down to walk around, but, like, we're probably not going to be able to get dinner if we don't sit somewhere by like 9, you know? Like, because there's not, other than there's a couple bars, but there's not, like, tons of places that are open to eat in this town. It's a smaller town. So I was like, I wouldn't want to go to a restaurant after like 9. So, and I was trying again to be like spontaneous. So I wasn't doing my normal thing where I'd like have a reservation or I'd have somewhere in mind. And luckily the hotel we were at has like 2 or 3 restaurants. I think they have 2 restaurants, and then they had like the bar that we were at. So we could always go there. And Jared was like, yeah, okay. Because he's talking about like, maybe we can go like walk around. And he ended up telling me like the next day, which is when he proposed, but he ended up telling me after he proposed that he actually had the ring in his pocket that night, and he was maybe gonna do it if we could like walk down by the water. But he was like, obviously, because this wasn't in my original plan, like I didn't have like a spot in mind. I just thought like if the vibes were right, I was gonna maybe do it last night, but if not, like, again, if the vibes are right, I would do it like Saturday, like while we were in McCall, hopefully. He was like, well, I brought it to McCall, and I was like gonna, again, just do it if like everything was going well, if it felt like the right time, but like maybe, obviously, if not, he was just gonna like do his normal plan, which again, I'll share afterwards. But I didn't see anything in his pocket. And I mean, maybe I glanced. I wasn't like looking, but he was wearing shorts, and the ring box ended up being like, it was like 3 inches thick, y'all. It was so thick. The box was huge. I kind of just thought that if he was trying to like 100% make it not noticeable, he'd probably put the ring in a smaller box. But apparently he was walking around with the giant ring box on Friday night, like the whole night. And he told me he was trying to like sit on like different sides of me so it wouldn't just be like popping, and his shirt was like a little longer. So honestly, I didn't notice it at all. I probably like glanced, because of course just the whole weekend I was like maybe, but I was kind of like, I don't know, I said this in my Patreon video that I was kind of like gaslighting myself to be like, no, like, no, like it's not happening, you're crazy, it's not gonna happen, whatever. And then like it does happen, and you're like, oh my God. So, because there was a few other moments this summer that I thought it could happen, like just other things that we like did. And of course, like once I started getting my nails neutral, I was a little more suspicious. I was a little bit more like, oh, okay, like I need to be ready. I want to be ready. Like any date night we go on, anytime me and him are gonna like go out of the house, I want to be like ready, like in case it happens. So of course, I think that's where I say like the gaslighting thing is, I just kind of, you like, once you're kind of awaiting it, you're kind of like, oh, well, like maybe it's going to be tonight, maybe it's going to be this weekend. So I had just been kind of doing that for a little bit. But basically Jared ended up being like, do you want to eat at the hotel? There was 2 restaurants there. There's like a steakhouse that we had never been to, and then there's like a slightly more casual place, like kind of on the water where you can eat, and we had been there before. Normally I'd be open to like the view, but it was already getting dark and it was a little chilly. So I was like, honestly, either eating inside at that restaurant or eating at the steakhouse. I was like, you pick. Again, I was trying to be spontaneous. So he was like, okay, like, let's do the steakhouse because we've never been there before. So he actually made us a reservation, like, right just there for 9:30, I think, which is so late. I know that's like so late, but it was a Friday night and they had a 9:30 reservation. And I think at this point it was already like almost 9. Luckily, when we went to the steakhouse, there was like a couple other tables. Like, we weren't even the last people there. So they were open late. So we finished our drinks. Mine was honestly massive. I had an espresso martini. I just had the one because it was huge. Jared got like 2 non-alcoholic beers. That is usually his go-to. We were just really enjoying like the little sunset, and it was just totally a vibe. We go to the steakhouse. I got a glass of wine. Jared was whining and dining me, as you will. It was delicious. It was the type of place that they like bring over like a box of knives to let you choose which knife you want for your steak, like all these different ones. So very fancy. It was delicious. I think we ended up having, we had dessert too. And we were there until probably, I don't know, around 11 or something. We sat just at their bar and just had like one more drink and stayed until midnight, talked to the bartender a little bit, and it was great. Went back to the hotel, woke up the next day, feeling good. We didn't have to check out until I think 11, and we woke up at like maybe 8:45 or 9. So luckily we had brought our swimsuits, because the great thing about the hotel was they had a hot tub and a pool. One thing about me is I love a hot tub. And they also had mimosas, since it was like Saturday morning. I don't know, I guess that's apparently something they do. So Jared went out and got me a mimosa and brought it back to the room. Incredible. Great way to start the day. And then we like just went to the hot tub for like an hour or something. We did end up going back and forth a little bit into the pool and hot tub, but it was like the most chill morning. I love any day that I get to go to a hot tub. So that was just so great that we had time to do that, because I would have loved to go the night before, but they always close early. You know what I mean? The hot tubs at a hotel always close by like 9 or 10 p.m. So we got to go the next morning, checked out, and we really knew we only had like a few hours, because I didn't want to leave Cholula for that long. Wanted to get home to Cholula sometime in the afternoon before like his dinner and everything. It's a smaller downtown, so we were like, we'll just walk around for a couple hours, probably like get some brunch or lunch, walk around a little bit, come home. So we ended up just like walking into downtown. We went by the water and just were like hanging out for a little bit under like in the shade. It felt, I will say, this day was my dream weather day. It was like somewhere from 70 to like 73 the entire day. Oh, it felt so good. Like, it was just so much cooler than it had been in Boise, and I was loving that. Like, it was so nice outside. So we just kind of hung out by the water for a little bit. We did end up getting a little bit of food. And then at this point, I honestly ended up feeling a little bit unwell for like only like an hour. Thank God. Maybe even less. It was probably like 45 minutes to an hour. I got like, which I kind of shared this more in the Patreon video, and it's not really important to the actual like story or day at all, but I just want to include it to be like, not every single thing has to be like perfect or like, oh my gosh, like, I don't know, you just can't avoid normal life things. And one thing that happens to me, like, this is just whenever I travel, my stomach just gets kind of weird. It's like in the beginning part of the day, I usually just can't really like eat much until like 1 p.m. I don't know how to explain it. I definitely have just some stomach stuff that goes on, and it's always like more noticeable and like annoying when I travel. So I was having a little bit of a weird stomach. It was like I hadn't really eaten anything, and I just felt gross, and I was really hungry, but I had nothing like sounded good. If you know, you know, basically is what I'll say. So I was just in one of those weird places where I was like, I really need to eat. I feel kind of like nauseous, and I started getting a little panicky, and Jared was just like so sweet. We ended up like, we were like sitting down. We had ordered food at this point. So I was like, it's gonna be fine. I just need like a little bit of food. He was just being so sweet. He was like, I'll go like check the bathroom for you to see if anyone's in there. And he's like, we can leave right now. We don't even have to wait for the food, or like we can take it to go. We can go like sit in the car, and you can just like lie down, and we can get some AC. And I was like, yeah, you're right. I just feel like I like need to eat a little bit, and I'll be fine. I kind of like spun myself into a little bit of a I was having just like kind of a little bit of anxiety because I just felt kind of sick, and we had already checked out of the hotel and I couldn't really go just like lay down for a few minutes somewhere. I was like, like what am I really gonna do? I'm just like out in public and I like feel yucky. But thank God I felt better after like I said, around 45 minutes. Jared ate his food. I did eat a little bit, and I was like, I'll save the rest for later, take it to go, because I just wasn't, again, like I was hungry, but I just couldn't really eat. And it had nothing to do with thinking anything about proposal things at all. That's just how my stomach, like I said, always is. Luckily, I started feeling a million times better, and it was probably like, I don't know, 12 something. I don't know. And we just like actually went and like got some fresh air, and like after Jared ate his breakfast, and we just like again we like sat by the water again, and then I was feeling a lot better. So I'm like, okay, I remember they had like a thrift store or two here. Let's like peep into the thrift stores. So we did, and I ended up like not finding anything until, which I wasn't like, it's kind of when you go thrifting, you just don't really expect to find stuff. It's just like maybe. But I did end up getting this bag that was only $4, this cute tote bag, and I'll insert a photo of it. It's so cute. It's huge. I found a great purchase, right? Kind of at this point we're like, well, it's already like, what time was it? Like, I don't know. It's probably already like 1 o'clock at this point. And I didn't really want to like go and get more food. I didn't want to have another like drink, and we didn't have time to go out and do any like water activities or anything. So I'm kind of checking in with Jared. I'm like, well, I'm like feeling like maybe just heading back in a little bit to Cholula. So he's like, yeah, let's head back. But just before I want to just like stop by on the way out. I want to go to Ponderosa State Park. So, and he had not said this before. Like this was not in any of the plans for the weekend, which again, there weren't really any plans. But I was like, okay, like, yeah, that would be like fun to do on our way out. Like we had been there before together, actually a couple times. We went camping there like 2 summers ago with his family for a few days. I'll insert some photos of the times I've been there, because I had been to Ponderosa State Park. It was so interesting because I kind of forgot like all the times I had been there. But I went back and like, you know how you can search things in your phone, like photos or something? Like I searched just McCall and I searched Ponderosa State Park, and I found all these old photos of when I went there. It was actually like the first place I went outside of Boise when I moved here. Like my mom actually moved me here back in 2017, and me and her drove up to McCall for a day. It was my first time ever going there, and we went to Ponderosa State Park. We went on this like snowy hike. It was early November. It was actually like one of the first few days of November, and it had already snowed so much. Squirtle was there with us. And it's just so sweet to end up like reconnecting the dots after everything happened of all the times I had been there. I had also been there with my entire family and Jared back in 2021. We did a family trip to McCall, and we went to the viewpoint. Squirtle was there. Jared and I had been dating about a year, and the last time I was there was with Jared, and Squirtle was, this is the crazy thing is, I mean, it's not so crazy, but just Squirtle was there every single time I've been to Ponderosa State Park, which, spoiler alert, that is where we got engaged. I am about to get into that. Every single time I've been there, Squirtle was with me. Like, it could have been so easy for just one of the times he wasn't there. Like, no, he was there every single time. And just being able to like connect the dots afterwards, because in the moment I was just like, I didn't know anything was happening. And then like a few hours and like days after the proposal, I was like, oh my gosh, like looking through those photos on my phone, being like, he was there every single time. Like his energy was there. And just to even know that like Jared obviously plans like the place and everything pretty last minute, because again, we were not going to go to McCall. I'm like, you guys are like, we understand that wasn't in the plan. But even just how it all worked out, like, I don't know. It took me, like I said, a few days to kind of be like, oh my gosh, just everything like really like full circle for me coming together. So we got in the car. We're like a 20-minute drive away from Ponderosa State Park. We start driving there, and I'm starting to be like, is something happening? Okay. But I still was not thrown off at all. Also, let's just say I was not looking cute this day. Thank God I was wearing a dress. That was the only part of me that was like put together. I had my socks and Birkenstocks on, y'all, no makeup. My hair was back. I actually like curled my hair that morning because I was like, I don't know, I just like, I was planning on wearing sunglasses. I was like, I'm gonna look cute if I have the sunglasses and the hair, but I'm not wearing any makeup. We were at the hot tub in the pool, right, in the morning, so I didn't really have a ton of time to like get ready. So just to paint the picture for you of like, no matter how much you think you are like a planner and you're gonna know everything, like you just can't plan some things. And not saying like anything bad about that, like, oh my gosh, I just like wish I had been, you know, more ready, more cute. Like everything truly, like looking back, I think happened exactly how it was supposed to. But at that point when we're driving up there, I'm like, maybe if anything was gonna happen on the trip, this is gonna be when it happens. So I look over at Jared. I'm trying to see, because Jared is the type of person that when he's nervous or anxious, he gets so shaky, his hands. So I'm looking over at him and I don't notice anything. He is not shaky. He is talking to me completely like normal. He was not like visually nervous at all. So that led me to, I again was like kind of gaslighting myself. I was like, okay, it's not happening. It's not happening. But I'm just gonna put on a little lip color, and like I kind of tried to like fix my hair in the car mirror. I wasn't gonna like try and like get ready, but I was like, oh, just in case. I also noticed that what was a little suspicious was he put into his like Google Maps that we're going all the way up to the top, which basically if you go to Ponderosa State Park and you drive all the way to the top, there is this viewpoint that I brought up earlier when I said we had taken photos with Megan and Finley and Squirtle there. Like I'll insert those, and that was the last time we were there. And I noticed that he's like, I can see that we're going to the viewpoint. So I'm like, oh my gosh, like perfect place for a proposal. But again, looked over, he doesn't seem nervous at all. So I'm like, he probably just wants to get like a picture, you know, he wants to have us have a cute little like quick nature moment while we're in McCall, obviously, like have a little, because it's very, very beautiful up there. It's very scenic. And then we're just gonna go back home. Like on the way out, we're just gonna have a little nature moment is what I like to call it. So we get up there, we're getting out of the car. I decide not to bring my phone because I was wearing the dress. I had no purse. I could have brought my purse, but I didn't want to. I was like, why do I need my purse? We're going over to the viewpoint. We're gonna be there for like 10 minutes. And I was like, I don't want to carry my phone, so I'm not gonna bring it. We just walk over there, but we're basically just like standing and like admiring the view, talking a little bit. And then Jared was like, which this should have thrown me off. And again, it did not. I just go back to like, I was gaslighting myself. I was like, no, Lindsey, like it's not gonna happen, right? This should have thrown me off though, is that Jared was like, I really want someone to take a picture of us. And normally Jared, you know, not that he's opposed to taking photos, but he would prefer more of like, if I just snap a selfie of us, like he doesn't care. Like if I was to ask someone to take a picture of us, he would take it, but he's not going to go out of his way to like have a stranger take a photo of us normally. Okay. Like, so that should have thrown me off, is he's like, I just want to like have a photo of us here with the view. And that still wasn't throwing me off like at all. So I was like, okay. And we kind of look around. I don't know why I thought we should wait for like some younger people to come up, because it was all like older people, and they also were all like having a conversation. It was probably like late 50 and 60-year-olds, and they were all conversing. So I felt a little bit like, you know, this is a place that tons of people come up. Let's just wait for like some younger people to come up. But I didn't have my phone. So I, again, wasn't like initiating like taking these photos. I'm like, if Jared wants a photo, he can like ask someone to take a photo of us. So I wasn't really thinking about it. I'm just like, whatever he wants to do, I'm just here for the ride. So some younger girls literally did come up and actually asked me to take a photo of them. And I did. And then for some reason, I just was not thinking, again, because I'm like, I mean, if Jared I didn't realize at this point, like how bad he wanted the photo of us, because it will lead into his plan. I just didn't think to ask them or whatever. And then they kind of like walked away, and Jared was like, oh, like I should have asked them to do it. And I was like, oh yeah. Like, I was like, yeah, I guess you should have asked them. Like, again, I just wasn't really thinking about it after they walked away. So then me and him are like, I could tell at this point, like he was like a little anxious. Like, I don't even know if anxious is the right word, like nervous, okay? Nervous, I guess. I was starting to get some vibes, but again, still gaslighting myself, still like not thinking that anything was actually up. I'm just like, he's getting nervous to like, because no one can like take a picture of us, which again, we could have just asked. Like looking back, I'm like, why were we like helpless? Like we could have asked any of those like older people to do it, and I'm sure it would have been totally fine. But I don't know, I think his nervousness, I was picking up on it, and it was making me a little bit nervous. So we were both just like, we'll just wait for someone. And then it had honestly been like 15 minutes of us just walking around up there, and I was like, okay, babe, like let's just take a selfie. Like, why don't we just take a selfie? And he's like, okay, yeah, let's just take a selfie. So I did not have my phone. So I'm like, can you take it on your phone? So this is where he takes out his phone and he's like holding it up, taking a photo of us, going like this. Like I'm trying to stare at the phone screen to smile, and it is like going crazy. Like he was so visibly shaky. So at that point, I'm like, okay, he's really nervous. He's having anxiety. But again, I still at this point was like, no, it's probably not going to happen. So after he's like all shaky, I like go in to hug him, and I'm like, oh babe, you're like really nervous. And I like give him a hug. I'm trying to like comfort him. And then as soon as I pull away from the hug, he's like, and I don't even know if he like knew he said this out loud, but he's like, okay, gotta just do it. Gotta do it. And he like gets down on the one knee right there. It was just us. There was a few people down below, like I said, like the older groups of people that were talking. And then there was a couple people up top in the distance, but it was just us right there. He gets down on one knee, and I'm like, I'm like, oh my gosh. I go, is it happening? Like that was my body's natural reaction. I'm like, is it happening? And he goes, it's happening. So we're just like laughing, and he gets down on the one knee. He's like in the rocks, like in these like hard rocks, but the posture was great, ladies. He asked me after, he was like, did you notice my posture? And I was like, honestly, I didn't, but I believe you that it was great, because that was like one of the things we would like notice from other people's proposals were like when the men were like schlumped or whatever. And because he's so tall, I was like, this was like years ago that I would be like, Jared, like just make sure you get a good posture whenever you do it. And he was like, yeah, you're so right. Like I gotta have good posture when I do it. So the posture, honestly, I didn't notice, only because in the moment I like kind of blacked out. Obviously I wasn't paying attention to that anymore, but he's like, trust me, babe, the posture was there. So he gets down. Honestly, it was very short and sweet in Jared fashion. He is a man of few words, but I did like write down in my notes app on my phone what he said to me. And it again was short and sweet, but it was just along the lines of like, Lindsey, you've been my best friend for the past almost 5 years. He said, like, you've made every house that we've lived in together into a home. He said, I can't imagine a better life partner than you. I love you so much. Will you marry me? Like, it was basically that. I might have missed like a few words. He said that, and of course I'm just like blacking out. Like at some point he took the ring out. I honestly don't remember if he had the ring, like if he didn't take the ring out until after he said it, or if it was like, I don't remember, but he must have had the ring out. Like, I don't even know. I don't remember. I'll have to actually ask him that and see if he remembers, because I blacked out that part. But he, you know, like I said, like, I think I said like, obviously yes. I was like, obviously yes. Like, I don't even know if I said like, I'll marry you or whatever, but I was like freaking out. And I see the ring, and I don't remember doing this either. Like, it just goes to show that I was like blacked out. But he told me that I like took the ring box and was like holding it and staring at it, and he had to like take it back from me so he could take out the ring and put it on my finger. And I was like, oh my gosh, I really don't remember doing that at all, but I believe that I did. And you know what, ladies, like let's just talk about it. The reason is because Jared had seen the ring, okay? He had gotten to see it. Like, it was my first time seeing the ring. You know what I mean? Like, I which we'll get into the ring, okay? Like, but I had never seen it in its final state. Like, I was mesmerized. Like, I was like, it's finally happening. You know what I mean? So I was like, of course I did that. Like, I don't remember, but I totally believe that I did that. So he's like, I had to steal the ring box back from you. He put it on my finger. You know, like, I don't remember if I like hugged him or kissed him when he was on the ground, but like he got up and we hugged and kissed. Obviously, we're like hugging for a while and we're both just being like, I feel out of body right now. Like, we're both like, did it really happen? Like, just, I'm sure lots of you guys can kind of understand those moments of like, I remember everything. Well, I guess I didn't remember like a couple things like I just said to you, but I remember like everything, you know what I mean? Like, that was said. Like, obviously I didn't black out that part, but just we're like, oh my gosh, like it felt like you're kind of having like that out of body experience, right? So just for like a minute or something, we're like hugging and, you know, we're just like talking. And then it was super cute. These two women that were up a little bit higher, they started like walking down towards us and they're like, did you guys just get engaged? And we're like, yes, like, because again, it was just us when he did it. So let's back up a little bit, okay, so Jared had told me after that he was trying to like get someone to take a photo of us because he thought that I would bring my phone and then I would like maybe be in cahoots with the person. Like I think in it, I probably, if I did have my phone, I probably would have been like, here's my phone to take a photo of us. But just because I didn't have it, I was like, well, Jared can ask them and Jared can like give them his phone, obviously. So he thought that I would have my phone and I would be like over there, like setting up with them or like give them my phone and then I'd come back over and then they would be like taking photos and then he would propose right then and he would like have some pictures. That was his like initial plan. And then I think honestly, like we were both just like making each other nervous. Like I said, he probably realized that maybe he could have asked like the younger people. And then I think maybe just because I didn't realize like he's really trying to like get us to take a photo. I thought like, well, Jared's always just fine with a selfie, right? So then when I brought up the selfie thing, I think he was kind of just like, yeah, like in his head, I'm guessing, I actually probably should just ask him. But in his head, I'm thinking he's kind of like, yeah, like, okay, you know, maybe it's just like not working out. Like she didn't bring her phone, whatever. Like obviously he can still like propose, but like we didn't have the exact moment of proposal on camera, which looking back, it's like, I feel like it's totally fine. Like I have mental photos. I'm like, girl, I was there. Like, I don't know. I think in some ways, like things just work out how they're supposed to because I was very, very present. I wasn't, you know, like even if like someone else had like heard everything that he said, because they would have had to be like pretty close and like more people probably would have like noticed, you know what I mean? I'm like, it felt very like just us. And that's another thing with, well, just since I'm talking about like the photo thing right now, I'll like bring it up like after everything, which I'm still not like done. I mean, I'm basically done with with the story. Like obviously that was like the proposal moment, but Jared had come, you know, after we were like doing a full debrief and everything, and he was like, well, I just like couldn't decide. Like I went back and forth for so long with like, should we just do like an engagement like photo shoot? But he was like, I knew that I would just be like a nervous wreck the whole time. I like wouldn't be myself. And he was like, but I also knew that you would like want to have photos. So he was like, I just kind of settled on like, in the moment, it'll be just us. And then afterwards we can do like an engagement photo shoot. We can get like all the photo, like whatever you want, all the photos. And I was like, okay, yeah, that feels like a good like mix of us, because obviously like I want him to be comfortable. I want to be comfortable. Like in the actual moment, it's like it's just like about us. And we did take a bunch of photos and like had the little moment where we were like ready and like a little bit more styled the next day, which I'll talk about. So anyway, these two, I'm really jumping all over the place, but these two women came down and they were so sweet. One of them literally was tearing up. Like she cried and she was just like, you guys are so cute. That was such a beautiful moment to witness. And she told me she had seen me earlier that day when we were at the breakfast restaurant, she was like, I remember I passed you outside and you were like sitting down at the table and I saw your dress and I just thought about how beautiful it was, and now I'm like seeing you again up here and you just got engaged. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know. It was just, they were so sweet. They were so cute. They offered to take some photos of us, so I'll insert those finally now. They're just very in the moment. I'm so glad we have like photos from the actual like moment. We took a couple selfies. Like, y'all can see how casual I am, the no makeup vibes. We were like sitting on a rock for like we were sitting on a rock for like 45 minutes after just like debriefing and talking about everything. He's like telling me about how he had the ring in his pocket all day and yesterday, and he was like, I was kind of just like waiting for the perfect moment. So beautiful, so scenic. Can't imagine a more perfect place. So this was the original plan, which Jared told me after. So apparently, and my sister knew this and Jared's sister knew this, that he was going to do it. So this happened on Saturday and he was apparently going to do it the following Sunday. We were going to go on a bike ride and he was going to pack us like a little picnic with like some wine, blankets, and like do it at this place in the park by the river. So I actually still need to get him to show me the spot, because he's like, well, we've been to this, or I can't remember if he said we've been to the spot. Like, we've definitely been to the park together several times, but I don't know if we've been to that exact spot. So I will have to update y'all on that, because we haven't been to do that yet. But I knew we were going on a bike ride because he had actually asked me earlier in the week. He's like, Sunday, do you maybe want? So I guess that, okay, we would have had plans on Sunday. I forgot about that when I said, oh, we had no plans for the weekend. Sorry, I didn't mean to lie. So yeah, he was gonna do it there, and obviously, like, I would have loved anything. Like, I would have loved to see how that came together and everything. But I'm like, I feel like it was just so serendipitous. It was so perfect. Like, immediately once we got engaged, like 1 or 2 minutes after, when those women came down and talked to us and they were taking photos of us, like, the wind immediately went like, pew, like, the wind got so strong and we're like trying to hold our hair down because we looked crazy. This is just something personal that I haven't really like shared, but the day Squirtle passed away, I went to my room and the first thing that I heard, I like look out the window and the first thing that I like saw or heard was a wind chime. It was like a gust of wind and I heard the wind chime. And so I know this is just one of those little things that some people are gonna be like, well, the wind always blows, the sun always comes out. But the things that I have tied to like my sightings and my memories of Squirtle visiting me are the wind, the sun coming out, peeking out through the clouds, and butterflies, because he has visited in butterflies and I see them literally like basically every day in the backyard. And I never used to see butterflies. I would see like 1 or 2 butterflies a year until, yeah, after Squirtle. And so anyway, wind is one of the things that it like, I feel as though it's him like just saying hello, you know what I mean? Same thing with the butterfly. I feel as though it's like a visit from him when I notice it. And so to have like looking back, that it immediately was like we were in the place that he had been with us before, and there was no like big gusts of wind, anything, until immediately like 2 minutes after, when we're taking the photos right after he proposed. And I feel like, and I know people are gonna have their own like, okay, literally the wind blew, but I, you know, looking back, was like Squirtle was like celebrating us. He was like there in that moment with us, like just letting me know that he wishes he was there. That was basically the engagement. We drove home after that. We got some soft serve. I'll include a photo of that. We were like exhausted from the weekend. I don't know if it was like, I think it was like all the like nerves too, like after like such like a high moment. You can like, your body can get really tired. So we were exhausted. We like came back home and we were just like chatting the entire car ride home. The whole car ride home, which was 2 hours, felt like, we were both saying it felt like 10 minutes because we were just like debriefing and chatting the whole time. We got home and we just had like pizza, and Jared went to get flowers, pizza, and Prosecco, which was like So perfect. He got himself some non-alcoholic beers and we literally just like laid on the couch and celebrated just us. We did FaceTime and tell our families, like our immediate families that night. And then the next day we told a few more people, like we told some friends. I told my Patreon. The day after that, I posted on Instagram and announced, I guess you could say. But yeah, it was very casual, but that was definitely what we were feeling. You know, we had just like gotten home from the trip, and like I said, we were just both exhausted. His sister was actually gonna help take some photos of us on the bike ride with the initial proposal idea as well. So she was down to take some photos of us because I of course had the photos that I just shared with you guys. But I was like, I had this dress that I had rented from Newly that I was like, just in case, you know, maybe on a date night or whatever, I would wear it and like maybe it will happen. Okay. Like it was this like white dress with blue flowers. So I was like, I want to get some photos of just like us kind of more ready, just an engagement shoot. You know what I mean? Like a casual engagement shoot. Like let's get some shots of the ring, which I know I haven't even like shown the ring. So we'll do that in just a minute, y'all. She is here. His sister took all of these photos. She brought like 2 different cameras. She took iPhone photos, iPhone videos of us in the Boise foothills, which again, literally like the only times I had been to this spot, or 1 or 2 times I had been with Squirtle hiking. He was there literally every step of the way. So when we did our photos, it was a little cloudy that day, but it wasn't like rainy at all. It was just kind of like overcast. We're like almost at the end of the photo shoot. It's like, I don't know, it's probably like almost 9 o'clock or something. And I just look up in the sky. We're actually like facing this way, taking photos with the sister. And I don't know, I just turn around for a second and I see a rainbow in the sky. And it was only there for maybe 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes. And then it went away. And just even being able to like catch it and see it. And I just remember Grace, who's Jared's sister, was like, I think someone's trying to say hi. And I didn't even like, at that moment, I just lost it. Like I teared up and I was just like, just losing it again. Just being like, last time I was here, he was with me and he's just everywhere. Having Squirtle in our wedding was one of my hopes and dreams. I'm sure he will find his amazing way to be there in some way, which I don't know yet. And I'm sure he will make his presence known because he was a star. I maybe see like 1 or 2 rainbows every like 3 years. Like I don't see rainbows often. Grace took some amazing photos of us. I am so grateful to her. I love them all. What else? Okay, let's talk about the ring. And then people have already been asking me about like wedding stuff. So I'll give a brief little update on that because I know I'll get questions about that. But yeah, sorry that this was probably over an hour long story. Y'all know I'm a yapper, so I'm not gonna like leave anything out. And there definitely was like multiple parts kind of to the story and how it all like worked out. So obviously we need a moment for the ring now, girls. So my ring is an elongated cushion cut, which is exactly what I wanted. We'll do a couple close-ups of it and then it has a hidden halo. I don't know if I'm zoomed in enough that you can see this, which is like the ring down here underneath the diamond. That is the mini diamonds. I have a simple gold band, which is exactly what I wanted. I just got so warm that I had to take off my outer layer, but I think I got a little distracted. Anyway, I picked out my ring with Jared, which again was kind of just what we both like always decided on. And yeah, it was interesting though. I guess what I was gonna say was that I didn't get to see everything like come together until literally seeing the ring when I got engaged. Like I saw the diamond, I picked the kind of like the shape and like the size of my diamond. It is a lab diamond, by the way. I always knew I was gonna go with a lab diamond because you just get more for your money, and I personally don't really have an interest in a mined diamond or a natural diamond versus a lab. Like I know that I could get a lot more of like what I wanted, and it's more ethical to get a lab diamond. So for me, it was like a no-brainer. I know some people are more like maybe that's more important to them one way or the other. But yeah, mine is a lab diamond. We got it from the sweetest girl. The girl that actually like sold us my ring and everything was actually from Georgia, which is like kind of rare to find other people from Georgia here. And like, yeah, anyway, she like worked at the store that we got our ring at and was just so sweet like the entire process. But anyway, like seeing everything come together was really exciting for me, because like when I tried it on, I would like see the band, and then she would put like the diamond in this like open prong thing, and it wasn't like secure, you know what I mean? It was just so I could like see the look of it. So I have photos from when I tried on like the band, and like she put the diamond in there, and that was like the closest I could see to the ring. I couldn't see it with like the hidden halo. There was other rings there that I could like look at the hidden halo, but like didn't like come together all as a ring until obviously like the end. So Jared had seen it a few times, several times before me, and so I think that's, you know, obviously like part of the reason I was just mesmerized and stole the ring box. Obviously rings are so customizable nowadays. You could literally do anything you wanted, and I think that's just the beautiful thing about rings, is it can be like exactly what you want. So mine is a little more like, not that it's simple, but like it's still blingy, but it's simple in the sense of like it is like a simple gold band with the diamond and then the hidden halo, like I said. When I thought about my engagement ring versus like wedding ring, I kind of always thought I would do more of like the simple band and the diamond for my engagement ring, and then I would have like a more blingy band for my wedding ring. So I think it's gonna look really good together. It's obviously not for quite a while. I'm also very excited for Jared to get his ring. He was kind of saying like, I want a ring. Like after he like gave it to me and proposed and everything, he's kind of like, well, I want people to know that I'm engaged. And I was like, you know what? That's so true. Like people immediately know that the woman or whoever has the ring is engaged immediately, but then people don't know the man is engaged until he's married. So I'm like, I mean, they know if they know you, right? But you know what I mean? Like just not having the ring. So I was like, I guess I've never thought about that too much. Like obviously the girl gets the ring. That is a story. It was so incredibly long. Last thing I'll say, just because I've already gotten so many questions about, which I know it's from like an excited, loving place from us, but like the amount of questions I've already gotten from everyone in real life, not even really much online, a few online, but when is the wedding? When is your wedding? All right, I'm finishing this on my phone because I just talked for so long that my camera died. But this is what I'm saying for now, which nothing is set in stone, but I'm saying 2027 for now, because next year, and Jared and I have always said that we wanted to be engaged for at least a year and a half. And when we got engaged, a year and a half would be like January. And I personally, I'm not really like, I don't think I would have a winter wedding. I feel as though it's going to be spring, summer, or fall. But that leaves 2027 to be like perfect, because I just feel like I don't want to be rushed at all. Y'all know we are not in any rush. We don't want to have kids. So it's like, what is the rush? Like we're gonna get married, whether it's in 2026, 2027, 2028. So I'm planning on 2027 because I feel like I do want to have, honestly, I don't want to start planning things yet. And that's some of the biggest advice I've gotten too, is to just enjoy the just engagement time and enjoy the little bubble, because once you start planning, you're going to be planning until your wedding. I personally just feel like next year is a little too soon. I would love to have more time in the engagement period, be able to say fiance for longer, be able to have more time to plan and plan a little bit slower, plan a little bit longer. Yeah, sometime in 2027, most likely. I'll keep y'all updated, because obviously like I'm just saying that right now, and it's like kind of one of those things that it's like, well, you have to like figure out your venue, you have to figure out like all these things, you have to figure out your date. So like I will share with y'all the actual updates, of course, on like timeline, more so probably in the new year, because like I said, I'm not really gonna know much until probably the new year. So, and that feels great for us. If anyone made it until the end, let me know in the comments down below. I feel like because I haven't vlogged in so long, I word vomited for the past hour and a half, but also I'm like Love that for me. Love that for us. I had to tell y'all, it was like a long FaceTime call with the bestie, okay? So thank y'all for listening to my very long story.